Good morning once again. Thank you for having your time. I'm very sorry I just have my live video today because I have some very important things. Okay, my topic of discussion today, I think this is very important because this is in response to the previous SONA of our president, Mr. Rodrigo Duterte. So this is just a piece of what we call analysis based on what we have expressed in that SONA. So I have also my point of discussion for you to evaluate also and review. This is with regards to the economic and health safety concern, because I try to review the outline of the discussion. Then I think I pick up some what we call very significant topic that I need to discuss. Okay. First, I will start with the speech. Based on my what you call observation, actually Digong is revealing some codes behind in that speeches. So if you are meticulous on his speech, he mentioned one time that according to him that he is very fascinated on the technology, because if you try to summarize the brilliance of the discussion, I think it's not coming from his idea. It seems like someone is dictating the concept, then he will be the one to interpret. That's why he mentioned that do I made it fast or do I made it slow? So he is referring to the concept of the control. The control command center that is dictating the statements. That's why he is trying to compare, and it's very good that he is very tactless to mention the thing, because if you are very wise and very keen, that means all that speeches are just prescripted. It doesn't came from the heart. It just came from the technology it's mentioned. So that's your mission to research. But if I have to analyze, like on the first what we call the first quarter of the discussion, it's more on a very what we call a poetic speech that is like a very nice, like reading book. But the way I understand, it is based on a script that someone is dictating in a very what you call prepared way. And on the later stage, it came out the nature of Digong speaking his own language, his own tongue. So you must have to watch the thing. Okay. So to summarize, the speech doesn't came from his main concept. Someone is creating the concept in his behalf to address the public. That's my analysis. Okay. Next, I will pick up some points that I need to discuss. First is he mentioned regarding the salary increase in the armed forces of the Philippines. Yes, but I cannot understand. There are many things that we have to focus. Those military, we don't need to boost their interest to perform their duty to increase their salary, because it seems like we are inviting them to perform based on the worth of their performance. It doesn't came from the heart. It seems like the concept is like Digong is trying to bribe the military to have a certain monetary price in order to perform. But normally, supposed to be as a military, it's a call of duty to service. They don't have to focus more on monetary things. They have to focus on service and loyalty to the government. But I cannot understand. There are many things that they have to focus. Right? Teachers, okay, teachers increase. But there are other sectors that needs to be given special attention. We are not here for war. Why we are focusing more on militaries? I cannot understand. We are fighting here for hunger. We are not fighting here for an enemy of what we call invading a country. And if we are telling like we are increasing the salaries of those militaries because we want them to perform, then now this is my question. Where is the result? Why until now there is still insurgents? Why until now there are still policemen selling drugs? Why there are generals involved despite of those double salary? It's very shameful, right? Imagine they have to take credit for the benefit that they are given priority by our president to perform. Others are taken for granted. Many of them are deprived, right? It's not only the military are servicemen of the country. There are many things. Those what you call sweepers, those cleaners, those securities, those what you call that are part of the service team. Why they are not given certain priority? Those small things, those small people, right? They need more what you call income in order to sustain those militaries. They have already houses, good houses, right? Those generals, they have very nice cars, right? But I cannot blame them because she's trying to protect his interest also. But my question now, where is the performance based on that money they paid? Remember, he has already doubled the salary. But now my question, why there are still generals involved on drugs? Why are there generals involved on prostitution? Why there are generals that are still involved on criminalities? Meaning there's no such satisfaction because it seems like the way I understand, the monetary value will just represent as bribing, buying the soul of our military, buying the dignity and the reputation of our military. That's why I'm challenging all the militaries. You have to listen to this. I salute you, sir, because you are a serviceman protecting the country. But if you are performing based on what is paid, not based on what is required, then I take off my hat. I will not salute. But if you will try to exert your effort, your best, to perform based on what is necessary, then I really salute. Now this is the best time, right? The pandemic. We need the understanding, the presence, and the protection of our military. I know, we know the story, right? This pandemic is just all a scripted scenarios, and we know the blunder game of it. But why such? From that level, supposed to be you are the protector of the people, and why you are tolerating that kind of game? It's just because you are paid for that amount? No, don't sell your soul, sir. You have your reputation and you have your dignity being an officer. There's no point. That's why if the Gong already doubled, increased the military, now part of my money, my taxpayers' money is used to increase the salary, then I have my right to question where is the performance. Why until now there are still police, there are still militaries that are involved on criminalities? So it's useless, right? Even you paid millions every month for those, there's no such satisfaction because there is no dignity, there is no loyalty, and there is no integrity for our militaries because we are educating them on their mind that they just work based on money. They don't work based on service. So I'm very shameful for them. It's very challenging for the part of the military and the part of the government to review these things. Why you are always promoting to promote peace while your country is fighting not on war, we are fighting on hunger, right? We invest more on weapons, we invest more on salaries of those military. We don't have war. You cannot even fight with China, then you are, what's the point? Now, I'm counting on my taxes, right? It's very clear. If my money was spent for the purpose of that service, then now I'm counting. Why until now there are still insurgents? Why until now there is criminality? Why there are still servicemen in uniform involved on the crime? So how could you explain that one? Does it make sense to increase their salary for the purpose of peace, or you just increase their salary because for the intention for your protection of your own interest, not for the country? There are many things that you need to consider. It's not only the military need increase. There are people, very simple, those street sweepers, janitors, those underneath, they are more in need than those militaries, because those, they have already more than what they need. Those people below, they need something to feed. But why you cannot see that? Because you are looking for your protection, for your interest. Now the military, please open your mind. You are not there to sell your soul. You are there to service the country, because you are our protector. You are our last line of defense. Don't sell your soul. Don't sell your integrity. You are just pride, boastful and proud, having your nice car, having your nice houses, with your family smiling together. But have you seen around, many needs something to feed on their mouth. That's why if you have that benefit, then now I'm counting on that manner. Where is your performance? If you would say that there is no already, you have already reduced the crime, or even to the extent that military is no longer involved on criminals, then I salute. So it's very shameful. Now, there are many military people, servicemen listening to you. Sir, I hope you are the modern day hero in this situation. But please, leave a space for your respect to yourself. Don't sell yourself. Okay? So my next topic of discussion is crime, insurgents. So, Digong also mentioned regarding AK-47 importation, military involved. So that's very funny, right? We already increased the military, but still involved on importation of guns for the insurgents. Then it's very simple. As a commander-in-chief, he cannot control. He is the leader, and it's the shame on their part, blaming on his subordinate. Supposed to be the failure of the subordinate is a command responsibility, being the highest authority as the commander-in-chief. If he just mentioning that, means he's just useless. No point. You cannot blame your subordinate. You cannot blame your general that while you are the highest authority in the country. Don't finger point on them, because it is your command responsibility. You have to understand that. Now you are mentioning regarding those crimes, colonel involved, general. It's very simple. Those colonel or whoever is your serviceman. Remember, it's under your command. Failure of your subordinate is your failure being an authority, and you have to understand. So now this is my very big question. I'm questioning regarding intelligence fund, right? Where we are spending too much, billions of pesos, just for this purpose. Intelligence, right? What is for intelligence? Intelligence to gather information. But the problem starts from the organization itself. So if there is a fund, revolving fund or evolving fund within that department, supposed to be, it should be workable. But my question, where is the worth of that money? If you are investing too much money for intelligence, but the problem itself is within that organization, the problem is the government, right? You mentioned, very simple, I cannot understand if you understand the logic of your statement. You are just insulting yourself, right? You are telling your military is selling, importing weapons, but you have invested your money also for them to gather information, but you are not sure what is the real crime, meaning you are part of that crime. You know what's happening, but why you cannot solve? Then the problem, the one that is suffering is the constituent, because our taxpayers' money are all invested for no worth, right? My question, those intelligence fund is unaccountable, because every expenditure it's never been accounted because, according to you, there's a secrecy, right? But the problem, how deep is the secret? How deep is the pocket of those generals that is corrupting that system, right? Imagine billions of money has been spent for that intelligence fund. Then, you know already that the problem starts with that organization. Supposed to be, you will be the one, the first person to know what is happening around. Then, where's that money going? Investing for red tagging, investing for what? But the problem, your own military is the problem there, your own policemen. Very funny. Remember that what happened to that PDEA and the police. Both department bypass. We are just fooling ourselves, investing our money for intelligence fund, using those assets to gather information. But the problem, the same organization within the government. I really appreciate if the involved is like drug syndicates, not being part of the military. But the problem, PDEA and the police. We are just fooled on this situation. We are using that intelligence fund, but those assets, they are paid by that intelligence fund, but they are selling drugs, right? Very simple. Constitution, people, look around. That's your money. That's our money. That's my money, right? We should have to act that way. Don't just tell them that it's easy for them to just spend whatever they want because they are the government. No, it's our money, remember. It's not their money. They are just the managers of our money, if you have to understand. So my question, where are those intelligence funds going? Who is the one benefiting? If we have spent billions amount of intelligence, supposed to be we gather all information. If we have already resolved this insurgents, we have already resolved these drug syndicates within the organization. Now, I cannot understand. Even you triple, you double, quadruple, or 10 times higher the salary of those policemen, if they don't have what you call loyalty on their service, if they don't have integrity, if they don't have pride. Remember the Philippine Military Academy, what you call logo, right? You see integrity. My question, where is the integrity? Loyalty. My question, where is loyalty? Loyalty to the president or loyalty to the country? Right? Service, right? Where is the service? You are just servicing based on what is paid for you, but you are not serving based on your heart. So, I'm waking up all the militaries, please. I don't want to destroy the reputation of our militaries, but I'm just awakening because it's already been ruined and tainted. For those militaries that are doing their service from their heart, then we have to act on this. We have to protect the interest of your organization. Because now the organization is already rotten by the virus within the system. Your performance, your dedication is being spoiled by those few who benefit on this situation. That's why if you really mean to protect the interest of the country, first solve the problem within the organization. Know your enemy within. Billions of money spent on intelligence fund, yet they cannot determine who are quitting drug lords. Sir, I salute you. Thank you for your comment. Benjamin Roger, thank you for, yes. Who are gamblers and what a shame. Yes, very true. Very simple logic, right? That's why if we are dedicated to service, first, we have to clean our environment first. We have to clean the mess within. I'm challenging the police. I'm challenging the PDEA. I'm challenging our armed forces of the Philippines. We know that there are people involved on that crime. Why we cannot stop them? Why we cannot directly fight with them? We are fighting for invisible enemy, but the real enemy is within. I don't know what's happening now with that story of that incident, the PDEA and police, the drug war. That's the drug war of Digong. The drug war is not between the drug syndicate. The drug war is between the competition between PDEA and the police, because both of them are distributing drugs. So that's what we call the concept of drug war, because both of them are warring who will dominate the selling of the drugs, and that's the truth. Okay. So I have already discussed the issue regarding corruption, drug addiction. So I will have to streamline and I have to reduce, because I think I have already mentioned on my previous video before regarding the concept of drug war. So now I'll proceed, because I'm discussing regarding the SONA, because I'm just reviewing based on what I have observed. Okay. I hope we have to understand this. Digong, being the highest leader of the country, has the authority to reveal, right? To express the situation, the country situation on what we call the State of the Nation address. But if there are chances, hopefully there are chances, right? We have to check also the performance of our Vice President Lenny, right? Most common since before until now, I haven't heard from the Vice President side to express their sentiment, to express their performance, their duties, and what we call their accomplishments. It seems like the office of the Vice President is just like a scarecrow of the prize field, right? It's just like a puppet of the show. Before Noli Di Castro, a very popular broadcaster, right, won the seat as Vice President, but I never heard the result of the accomplishment being the Vice President. And now the same, Lini Lobredo, right? When Digong has given the chance to have his speech, he himself criticized his own next in line office of the Vice President. But why not? We should be fair to everyone. We have to give chance also for the office of the Vice President to report to the country, because SONA is the State of the Nation address, right? Performance, result. So I don't want to hear more criticism, more on I will kill you, more on salary increase of the military, more on what we call complaint on drug war, wherein the war itself is the problem and the implementer. So I'm already like fed up on that kind of concept. Now I want to hear result. So I am challenging the government next time around, if they could have the chance to represent, also give a chance to the office of the Vice President to lay down all his performance and his or her accomplishment, whoever the Vice President. Because we don't want monopoly of control. We should have what we call the transparency. The problem, if the government is given the chance to speak, he is also destroying his own government, even his next in line. And also Lenny, you should have to perform based on your office as a Vice President. It's not just sitting on that position and just overpowered by your president. You should have the backup support, and also you have to show to the public that your office is functional. It's not just like a scarecrow of the rice field. There's no point. That's why next time around, I'm very happy to see if we have to give chance an hour of speech for the office of the Vice President to explain what's happening on his what you call in line of his duty, her duty. Okay. So I have several topics to discuss regarding my solution and also my recommendation, because I'm already fed up with that repeating cycle of what you call killing, and this what you call build. Now we should be what we call practical and what we call reasonable on our perception, because supposed to be I expect a very good result from the speech of Digong, but I'm not satisfied. That's why I give this point, so that next time around, if we have the chance, if anyone listen to this discussion, especially to the office of the president, you can channel this information to our dear leader to please consider these things, because this is what I felt that is very necessary for the public to hear. Next time around, if there are chances, you should have to give time also to explain the economic status in respect to the transparency of the country situation, right? We don't need to hide what is happening. I don't want to listen anymore. Pandemic. It's just a repeating cycle, and I'm fed up. Killing. I'm fed up. Now I just want to hear what is the economic status of the country. If possible, also we have to give the chance from the representation of the office of the Commission on Audit, so that we know what's really happening, because we are not addressing only like making a story, just like on the first quarter of the discussion of the go. It's just like all we are reading a poetry books, very nice to hear, right? But there's no sense. It's just only a poetic, like a very nice English, right? My English is crooked. Sorry for my English, but it doesn't make sense how good your English. It makes sense the intention and your purpose, but I don't want to hear poetic word. I just want practicality. What is really happening now? My question, what is the economic status of the country? Number one, losses. How much is our deficit? How much is our losses? How much is our accountabilities? How much is our what you call over expenditure, misappropriation of funds, corruption? Who are those involved in the corruption? Then they have to lay down this one. If Digong can display as the matrix of drug, now Digong, you have to display also in public, so that those criminal, if you are fighting against corruption, and it is the best way for you to stop them by shaming them in public, just like example, PhilHealth. So if you know that there is a problem in PhilHealth, then explain in detail what's happening, so that the public will be aware, so that those criminal will no longer have the courage to corrupt, because they will be stripped naked in public. Shame, right? That's the only way. We don't need to go to court just to have this lengthy criminal case. It's useless. After the end of the term, then the case is gone. Many leaders, money laundering, corruption is just useless. It's just a process of just like a stage drama. We want here reality. That's why if there are problem on misappropriation of funds, if there are problem on losses, if there are problem in corruption, then I would expect from our dear President, and even to the office of the Vice President, and even to the Commission on Audit, to please lay down all of these people involved. Remember what happened to the Dolomite in Manila. How much is that? About 380 million, right? 380 million is how many sacks already supposed to be, if we have to convert into rice or any project that is for self-sustainability and for the self-sufficiency of our constituent. But remember, when we have the idea, the government have idea to beautify that Manila Bay, is it part of their project proposal to discuss the consequences in case the project will fail? There is no such accountability on that. It's just a good, a very nice drawing on beautification, and all is just a display of positive side. We never look on a negative side. We never see the what if scenario. What if there are chances of losses? Example, the 380 million is not just an ordinary money. It's a huge amount of money, meaning just one typhoon alone is just ruin up 380 million, just like paper money being burned in just one instant. It's not as easy as that. Then someone should be accountable. Someone should face. If there are very good minded people to convince the government that that project is very efficient, then now my question, where is our money? Where is that 380 million now? Could you explain to us? And you Could you please return to us that money? Bring back to the government those involved on that project. All of them should share for that losses. It's not just at that. That's why the problem, if there are misappropriation of funds, if there are what you call losses, no one cares. But the money is from us. It's not from you, the government. Digong, you have to check this. You have your executive power, right? But the problem, no one ever dare to check where's that money now. How much commission of that engineer? How much commission of that consultant? How much commission of those politicians involved on that project? Then now, we are demanding, the public is demanding to return that money back because it's loss. It's a loss of our investment. We want return of our investment. We don't want wasted, right? It's just not like just good for the eyes to see. No, you should be practical enough if that is needed or not. You should have to be included on that study. What if scenario if there are what you call typhoons? You should have to understand that case. Don't just approve because it's just simple as oh, just only 380 million amount. No, there's a very big amount of money loses. Then my question, DNR, who are those involved? Department of Public Works and Highways. Those people involved. Those what's called related agencies that supposed to be the right person to scrutinize before the project will be approved. Because they have to see the outcome result in a what-if scenario. Not just like having this piece of paper, this project proposal, and just approve everything. No. You have to understand what are those, the other side of the coin. Is it really beneficial or is it just for the good of one day, what we call, satisfaction of our eyes, then later all the money is gone. That's why you have to include on that project proposal the accountabilities in case this project will fail. There should be someone to be liable and answerable if there are what we call mistake on that project. But why we cannot incorporate on that what we call this appropriation of the funds? So it's just easy as that just say, oh sorry, everything is gone. No. Part of my money is gone, and I'm asking now. I'm not only the one, but many of us, Filipinos, taxpayers' money. We are demanding, where is that money now? Where is the 380 million that is spending for nothing? We are on the height of the pandemic, but we never care to solve the hunger. We care for the beautification, and what's the logic of our mind? And now I am demanding, where is that money? And we want to return back to the people. And that's my demand. So, financial transparency, right? That's why part of my complaint, this intelligence fund, because the problem on the corruption, this is the agency that is very hard to bust. Busting, right? Because there's no traceability of the funds. Once the funds is released, it's very easy for them to make an excuse that there's a ongoing project, assassination, termination, or what, or surveillance. But where's the result? That's my question. How could we know that there's a positive result? Until now, there is still many criminals, there is still many insurgents. Just like Davao, how much is spent for Davao? About 10 billion for intelligence fund. If we are dealing with insurgents, how many NPAs in Davao? I think it's not more than 50,000. But you need to spend 50 billion just to destroy them. Maybe the problem is not the NPA. The problem is the one that is holding that money now. And where's that money? You get involved the community, and I'm asking the community now, those assets, those poor assets, right? Intelligence. You are just being used. How much they give to you? 1,000, 2,000, 4,000? How much is the budget? 10 billion just for Davao alone. Imagine. And where's that money goes? Don't be used by these people. You are just being used for their purpose as a collateral damage of the situation. But them, they benefit more, but you are used. Don't be stupid to be falling in their trap. May other concern also, countrywide development fund, right? Now, we are more focused on modernization of our military. We are more focused on infrastructure of beautifying our road, bridges, and even these beaches, right? Just a moment, I have one customer. 20 po. Ah, 30, sige. Ay, hindi. Ay, hindi. Itanong ko lang natin baka magalang natin. Ibigay na 30? I am very sorry, I am here in the public market. I will also help you to sell some foods, some goods. So, coming back to my discussion regarding countrywide development plan, if you have to analyze the situation, right? We are more investing on nonsense, right? Militarization. What for? We are not on war. According to Digong missile, my God. Are we ready for the World War III, or are we just having this, what we call the parade show for our guns, armories, right? That's why it's very funny, right? In order for us to buy guns, we need to create enemies. We need to create war. We need to instigate war just to spend more on bullets, right? What for? Remember casualties on that C-130 plane, right? How many of them? I pity for those militaries that is on the tragedy, right? Those helicopters, those weapons, you spend too much just for a crash of nothing, right? So, if we just focus more on countrywide development fund, restructuring the country for growth, self-sustainability, economic repair, pro-life. Why we are more investing on that weapon? We are investing on intelligence. Now, many criminals around, they are all conspirators of those criminals, right? The criminals are those that is bringing guns in uniforms. So, they are protecting them because they are paid. Very simple, right? It's just a small country, but we cannot understand who is the real enemy. Is it the one above in the mountain, the one that we call Muslim, or within the government itself? And it's very funny, right? I am not saying that I am against the government, because I am part of this government. I'm just against for those corrupt people that is running the government that never care for our money, right? If we have much money to spend for a missile, if we have much money to spend for a submarine, if we have much money to increase those military salaries, why not? We cannot spend more money for countrywide development. Just what happened now in Tarlac. I am not hiding my identity. I am here in Kamiling Tarlac, if you have to see. Now the water is overflowing, right? The dikes problem. Now it's over, what they call the flowing water. The rice field is already filled with water because there is no such infrastructure to control proper irrigation. We are destroying foodstuff, right? Agricultural foodstuff. And that's supposed to be the basic and essential thing because that is the source of our living. But we are investing on guns that is destroying life. Supposed to be we invest to repair those dikes. We invest to have this proper irrigation system rather than this creating idea initiative to destroy life. I cannot understand. No, the water is overflowing. Where's the government money? If we can spend for a tank, if we can spend for a submarine, if we can spend for an helicopter, why not we can more focus on this development? Because we should have to understand, those roads and bridges cannot be it. During the time of crisis, that road and bridges cannot save us. But those rice fields are those source of living, right? Look around. Those farmers investing their time, effort to plant trees, but just one typhoon passing, everything is gone. Their investment, right? But who will suffer? It's not only those farmers, the people, because we are consuming staple food based on that plant rice. If we cannot solve that simple thing, how could we solve it? We have to be proud to the other world that we are strong. No, we are weak. In a sense that we cannot stand alone without gun. That's the problem. We cannot even stand alone walking on the mountain, walking on the critical areas without any gun. That's why I'm challenging the militaries. If you are really strong and dedicated, not afraid of being serviceman, no need to bring guns. What for? We're not here for war. We want understanding. We want peace. We want help. We want protection. But why you're bringing on? Because you are not sure that you can protect yourself. Look at these people. We have this pandemic. We are bringing guns. What for? We're not fighting for war. We are fighting for pandemic according to you in your story. But why you are bringing armories there? I cannot understand the logic of the mindset of our leaders, right? It's very simple. We can invest on beautifying for nonsense, well, in a simple thing, just like a simple irrigation dike, or even to the subsidy to the farmers, just for these seedlings, just for this very nice irrigation system, in order to develop the country. Because the growth of the country will depend on the whatever feed on the stomach. We cannot eat those roads and bridges, remember. It's just useless. Those roads and bridges are just beautifying our eyes, but we cannot eat those concretes there. That's why I'm challenging everyone. We have to raise our voice. Now we are suffering on this pandemic. If we cannot stop this pandemic thing, this drama, we will just end up fighting on our own hunger. We are not dying on that pandemic. You never see someone dying on the street because of the pandemic, but you see someone is dying because of hunger. Remember, if you will not stand up to defend your right for this drama of this pandemic, I'm very sorry for everyone. We cannot stop hunger. Pandemic is just a creation of mindset of the psychological operation of the militaries in order to implement the full martial law. That's why now I'm discussing now the safety of the vaccination. So I would like to awake also everyone, especially for those who are advocate for anti-vaccine. I am also anti-vaccine, but we have to be very careful because the government and the manipulator of the situation now are pulling both strings, the pro-vaccine and anti-vaccine, in order for them to war not on pandemic but to war on pride. Sometimes our advocacy becomes our pride because we never listen to any both of other side. So the problem, instead of resolving the problem, we are having a war because of pride, claiming who is truth, who is real, who is telling the right story. No. That's why sometimes our advocacy becomes our own distraction. So be careful on the trap. I never say that we have to stop advocating anti-vaccine, but I'm just reminding everyone, we have to continue whatever we have started, but don't fall on the trap to get emotional on this, because they are using that concept to divide and conquer. That's why if you are not very wise to understand, they are setting trap against us, using the concept of pro and anti. But in the end, we will be fighting each other because of division. So instead, we have to use our mind. focus. Whatever we have started, advocacy for the truth, continue. But never fall down on the trap of anger. Because once you fall down on the trap of anger, then we're fighting in our level. Because their master plan is Abdo Ab Chao, order out of chaos. And that's the Masonic slogan. They want to have a chaos in order to control, to full implement the martial law. And the victim is us, because they're trying to set a trap on us, fighting each other for our cause, wherein it's not the real cause, but it's just a matter of pride. So, if we are really advocating for anti-vaccine, please continue but refrain from get involved on violence. And never encourage violence. I just encourage awakening for everyone. That's why I really encourage all Filipinos must be awake now. And we don't need to feel shame, afraid. If I could survive in this situation, now I'm still alive. If I already died or I already in jail, so maybe you have to fear. But if I'm still alive, surviving, I never hide my identity, and I'm even revealing my complete address and whatsoever. But still, as long as you are in your side of truth, no one could harm. That's why I'm challenging everyone. If you have the courage, please reveal, show in the public like this, live. Don't hide on your what you call the profiles. Express in emotion. If you are frustrated with this pandemic, if you are frustrated on corruption and everything, then tell what you have, because it's our right. We are bound and we are protected under the law. Freedom of expression is our weapon here. That's why we never fear for anyone, because if everyone stand, we are the government. Those government are the servicemen. Remember the concept here. Those government, those president, those vice president in the Senate or Congress or whoever, they are just our servicemen and they are just our paid worker. We are the owner of this country. The taxpayer are the real player here. Those people are just service people. Remember, they are paid under our control of our taxes. They never give us money, those politicians. Remember, if they give you services, roads and bridges, because it's their job, it's their routinary job. Don't clap your hands because they provide you road and bridges. No, it is their obligation because they are paid for that purpose. That's why don't get amazed if you have this road and bridges. No, it's a mandatory and a must for every politician to perform, because that is per required, because that is part of our money that is paid for. Don't ever clap your hands because you have this very nice public market. No, part of the cycle of the community, you have a public market. You have utilities, you have roads, you have bridges, you have what is necessary. Don't ever fall in on the trap, on the old concept of the mindset that you are a part of the government and you are under control of the government. No, we are the government here. We control the government because we are the one to put that politicians there. That means that politician should owe something from us. That's why Digong could not say, this is my country, this is what I want. No. He don't have the right to tell that thing because he is just a president. He doesn't have the right to claim, this is my country. No. This is our country. Don't tell that this is your country. This is our country. And you are part of this country. And us also are part of this country. And if something fails, it's not like you have to blame us, but you have to blame yourself, Digong, because you are the one leading us in here. If you made mistake, then it's your accountability. Don't blame your subordinates there. Don't blame your generals. Don't blame your politicians there. The first thing to review is your performance, yourself. That's why I'm challenging the next time around. I want to see the office of the Vice President to represent, to tell us what's happening. And also I'm challenging even the Commission on Audit to represent the economic structure of the country for transparency purpose, to explain to us what's really happening. How much is our deficit? How much is our accountabilities? How much is our debt? How much is our loans? How much is our gain? It doesn't make sense to tell that this is what they call beyond information because this is part of the secrecy. No, This is very important because that is the main essence of this country. We want, if we are really growing or not, we don't want repeating cycle that is just spending our money. Remember, we are taxpayer here. We are the investor. We are the real shareholder here. We are not an ordinary people. People of the Philippines, please wake up. Your taxpayers' money is an investment money. It's not just tax as an obligation. No. Your taxpayers' money is worth dying for. Remember. Your 5 peso, 10 peso is part of that billions of money that is spent in order to run this country. And don't ever think that you are under the control of the government because they are the one managing this country. No. You are the investor here. You are the shareholder and you are the main player here. And you have the ultimate right to question, where's the road? What's happening now? Services, right? So, I think we have to educate everyone here. Instead of traditional mindset that we are just sipping our mouth, afraid to tell the truth, this time, awake. I'm challenging especially the youth, even the ladies there. I'm challenging everyone. I see many advocacies here in Facebook. But next time around, I'm challenging everyone. We have to face the truth, the reality. Show your face in front of public to express. If everyone tells like this, if any government corruptions, if anything that is criminality is exposed, then it should be stopped. That's why next time around, Digong, I'm challenging you. If you can do this one, I salute you. Please explain to us the economic status of the country and pinpoint what are those agencies that is involved on those criminalities and what are the concrete actions. I want solutions. I don't want just only like a sugar-coated statement, like just to make beautifying your statement that this is corruption. No. We want the result, and someone should be accountable and responsible, and someone should be answerable. If there is problem, then someone should go to jail, right? We don't need to wait for another term, another story that in the end, nothing happens. That's why if you mention corruption, if you mention general that is involved on selling that AK-47 or what, then we want result. We want someone to be in jail. Very simple. Last time, I have to repeat this. Remember the concept of this pandemic height there? General Sinas was involved. I want General Sinas to be in jail, to be honest. Because he is violator of the law and he should show a concrete example of compliance and what you call obedience of the law. If they made mistake, then accept the facts. They have to face the consequences, right? That's why now it's very big challenge. If the criminals or the generals is involved there, I challenge the Gong. Don't just make story like a very beautifying story. No, we want result. If you could prove to us that those generals will go to jail, then I'm started to take off my hat and salute to you. I hope this makes sense. So I think I have discussed too much, but I'm just reminding everyone. It's not only like one's idea to initiate this. I take my risk, my shame, my families, my life, just to show that we need for change. That's why I'm calling the attention of those advocate for change and for our militaries too. Sir, I know there is just like what you call the misleading on the concept, but I know you still have the heart. Just please wake up and correct the mess. It's not too late yet. Prove to us that our money is our taxpayers' money is worth dying for. Remember, you are there not just for a medal. You are there not just for promotion. You are not there just for the salary. You are there to protect us. Then prove to us, and that's my challenge. I don't need to argue with you because you have also your responsibility. But being a legitimate taxpayer and have the authority because I am part of this what you call problem and solution. So now I'm counting on you. I'm demanding result. I would expect that the next succeeding days should you act for this. Don't wait before it's too late. Thank you and good morning. I love you all.